Hi everyone, these are your notes on organisms and their environment. And our essential question is what factors are included in an organism's niche? Organism's niche or niche. I think both are acceptable pronunciations. All right, anyway, biotic factors. Biotic factors are those that have to do with living things. So these are all the living organisms in an ecosystem. And the abiotic factors are the non-living parts of an ecosystem. Parts of the environment. Some examples of this include climate, wind, nutrients, soil, sunlight. None of those things are alive, but they're part of the environment. A habitat is an area where an organism lives. And it includes both the biotic and abiotic factors. To answer our first question, a niche or niche are all strategies and adaptations a species uses in its environment. Including the type of food that they eat, how it obtains food and shelter, and when and how a species reproduces. Reproduces and survives. I should remind you a little bit about natural selection. No two species can share the same niche. Can share the same niche in the same habitat. So it's kind of what makes them unique. So going along with this, all of these organisms actually interact with each other, and when they interact, that is called symbiosis. Symbiosis is any relationship in which two species live close together. Live closely together. We're going to draw a little table to talk about what these are. So we'll say the type of symbiosis here. And then we'll put a description and an example. Mutualism, the word there is mutual, is when both species benefit from this relationship. So an example of this is flowers and insects. Bees are used to bees pollinate the flowers and help them reproduce, and the bee gets nectar. So they both get something that is that's really helpful to both of them. So that's an example of mutualism. There are also another example. There are birds who will actually eat off of ticks that are on rhinoceri, and so the rhinoceros gets cleaned, and so it gets free of bad stuff that's attacking it, and the bird also gets a meal. So that's mutualism. They're both happy. Another type of relationship is commensalism, and this is when one organism benefits, but the other one does not receive a harm or a benefit. So the other one doesn't get anything good or bad. An example of this is moss growing on trees. The tree does not get anything from the moss being there, but the moss gets a location to rest on and to be closer to the sun. There are whales that have barnacles growing on them. The barnacles get to travel around, get on a free ride on the whale, get exposed to more nutrients in the water, but the whale doesn't care. The barnacles are just going along for the ride. Another example of symbiosis is not so happy, and that's parasitism. And this is when one benefits by living in or on another, and the other is harmed. So think about a flea attacking a dog. The flea gets all that nice blood to eat. The dog is not happy. The dog is in a lot of pain. Also humans and mosquitoes. Humans and tapeworms living inside your belly. Anything that gets inside of you or gets on top of you and is taking away, is basically feeding off of you. And then another kind of negative relationship is when we have predators and prey. So in predation, when we have a predator, that's an organism that eats another. organism that seeks out and eats another organism. So it's a little different from parasitism, because in parasitism you don't hunt the animal, you just get some of its nutrients or get some of its life source. And then prey is the one who is being eaten. By the predator. On the other side of your notebook, you are going to put a foldable with some cards, and you're going to decide which of these 3 categories each one goes into. So go ahead and finish copying that down, and we'll see you at the next one.